Welcome to Let's Learn.
Lesson 3. Drainage. The term drainage describes the river system of an area. Look at the physical map. You will notice that small streams flowing from different directions come together to form the main river, which ultimately drains into a large water body such as a lake or a sea or an ocean. The area drained by the single river system is called a drainage basin. A closer observation on a map you will indicate that many elevated area such as a mountain or an upland separates through two drainage basin. Such an upland is called water divide. So here is the 2 points. The world's largest drainage basin is of Amazon River. Drainage systems in India. The drainage system of India are mainly controlled by a broad relief features of the subcontinent. Accordingly, the Indian rivers are divided into two major groups, the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Apart from the origination from the two major physiographic regions of India, the Himalayas and the peninsular rivers are different from each other in many ways. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. It means that they have water throughout the year. These rivers receive water from the rain as well as from the melted snow from the lofty Himalayas. Two major Himalayan rivers, the Indus and the Brahmaputra, originate from the north of mountain ranges. They cut through the mountains, making gorges. The Himalayan rivers have long course from the source to the sea. They perform intensive erosional activity in the upper course and carry huge loads of silt and sand. In the middle and the lower courses, the rivers form meanders, oxbow lakes, and many other depositional features in the floodplains. They do have well developed deltas. A large number of peninsular rivers are seasonal as they flow is dependent on the rainfall during the dry season. Even the large rivers have reduced flow of water in the channels. The peninsular rivers have shorter and shallow courses as compared to other Himalayan counterparts. However, some of them originate in the central highlands and flow towards the west. Most of the rivers of peninsular India originate in the western Ghats and flow towards the Bay of Bengal. The Himalayan rivers. The major Himalayan rivers are the Indus, the Ganges, and the Brahmaputra. These rivers are long and are joined by many large and important tributaries. A river, along with its tributaries, are called river systems. The Indus River system. The Indus River rises in the Tibet near Lake Manasrovar. Flowing westwards, it enters India in the Ladakh. It forms a picturesque gorge in this part. Several tributaries, the Zaskar, the Nibra, the Shak, the Hunza, joins it in the Kashmir region. The Indus flows from the Balchistan and Gulgit and emerges from the mountain at Attock. The Satluj, the Beas, the Ravi, the Chenab, the Mithankot in Pakistan. That is, the Jhelum joins through to enter the Indus near the Mithankot in Pakistan. Beyond this, the Indus flows southwards, eventually reaching the Arabian Sea east of Karachi. The Indus Plains have a well developed slope with a total length of 2,900 km. The Indus is one of the longest river in the world. Little over the third of the Indus basin is located in Indian Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and the Punjab, and the rest is in Pakistan. So here's the point. According to the regulation of Indus Water Treaty signed in 1960, India can use 20% of a total water carried by the Indus river system. This river is used for irrigation in Punjab, Haryana, southern and western part of Rajasthan. The Ganga river system. The headwaters of Ganga, called the Bhagirathi, is fed by Gangotri Glacier and joined by Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand at Haridwar. The Ganga emerges from mountains of onto the plains. The Ganga is joined by many tributaries from the Himalayas. A few of them bring major rivers such as the Yamuna, the Gagra, the Gantak, and the Kosi. The river Yamuna rises from the Yamunotri Glacier in the Himalayas. It flows parallel to the Ganga, and at the right bank tributaries meet the Ganga at Allahabad. The Gagra, the Gantak, the Kosi, and the Nepal rises in the Nepal Himalayas. They are the rivers which flood part of our northern plains every year, causing widespread damage to the life and property, whereas they enrich the soil for agriculture use. The major tributaries which come from the peninsula uplands are the Chambal, the Betwa, and the Son. They rise in the semi-arid areas, have shorter course, and do not carry much water in them. And here is a short note. The Namami Ganga program is an integrated conservation mission approved by the flagship program by Union government in July 2014 to accomplish the twin objectives of the effective abatement of pollution. Enlargements with the water from its right and left bank tributaries. The Ganga flows eastwards till Farakka in West Bengal. The northern part of the Ganga Delta. The river bifurcates here. The Bhagirathi Hooghly as tributaries flow southwards through the deltaic plains of Bay of Bengal. The main stream flows southwards into the Bangladesh and it is joined by the Brahmaputra further downwards. It is known as the Meghna, the mighty river with water from the Ganga and the Brahmaputra flows into the Bay of Bengal. The delta formed by these rivers are called Sundarban Delta. And here are some points. The Sundarban Delta derived the name from sundri trees which grows well in the marshy land. It is the world's largest and fastest growing delta. It is the homeland of a Royal Bengal tiger. The length of Ganga is over 2500 kilometers. Ambala is located on the water divide between Indus and Ganga river system. The plains from Ambala to the Sundarban stretches over nearly 1800 kilometers, but the fall of its slope is hardly 300 meters. In other words, there is a fall of just 1 meter for every 6 kilometers. Therefore, the river develops large meanders. The Brahmaputra river system. The Brahmaputra rises in the Tibet east of Mansarovar Lake, very close to sources of the Indus and the Sutlej. It is slightly longer than Indus, and most of its courses lie outside India. It flows eastwards parallel to the Himalayas on reaching Namcha Barwa, which is at an elevation of 7,750 meters. It takes a U-turn and enters in India in Arunachal Pradesh through a gorge. Here it is called as the Dihong. It is joined by Dibong, the Lohit, and many other tributaries to form the Brahmaputra in Assam. And here is a short note. The Brahmaputra is known as the Sangpo in Tibet and Jamna in Bangladesh. In Tibet, the river carries small amount of water and less slit as it is a cold and a dry area. In India, it passes through regions of high rainfall. Here, the river carries a large volume of water and considerable amount of silt. The Brahmaputra has a braided channel in its entire length in Assam and forms many riverine islands. During every year, the rainy season, the river flows its bank. It causes widespread devastations due to the flood in Assam and Bangladesh. Unlike other North Indian rivers, the Brahmaputra is marked by huge deposit silts on its bed causing the river water to rise. The river also sh- shifts its channel frequency. The Peninsula River. The main water divides in Peninsula India is formed by the Western Ghats, which runs from the north to the south to the western coasts. The most of the major rivers in peninsula such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri flows eastwards and drains into Bay of Bengal. These rivers makes a delta at their mouth. There are numerous small streams flowing west of the Western Ghats. The Narmada, the Tapi are the only long rivers which flow westwards and make estuaries. The drainage basin of the peninsula India are comparatively smaller in size. The Narmada basin. The Narmada rises in the Amarkantak plateau in Madhya Pradesh. It flows towards the west in the Rift Valley formed due to faulting. On its way to the sea, the Narmada creates many picturesque locations. The marbled rocks near the Jabalpur, where the Narmada flows through a deep gorges, and the Daulada Falls, where the river plunges over the steep rocks, are some of the notable ones. And here is a short note. The Narmada Conservation Mission has been undertaken by the Ministry of Madhya Pradesh by a stream named as Namami Devi Narmade. All tributaries of Narmada are very short, and most of these join the main stream at a right angle. The Narmada basin covers part of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. The Tapi basin in the Satpura ranges in the Baitul districts of Madhya Pradesh. It also flows in a rift valley parallel to Narmada, but it is much shorter in length. Its basin covers parts of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. The coastal plain between Western Ghats and Arabian Sea are very narrow, hence the coastal rivers are short. The main west flowing rivers are Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpura, and Periyar. Godavari Basin. The Godavari is the largest peninsula river. It rises from the slopes of the Western Ghats in the Nashik district of Maharashtra. Its length is about 1500 km. It drains to Bay of Bengal. The drainage basin is over a large among the peninsula river. The basin covers a part of Maharashtra. About 50% of the basin area lies in Maharashtra, the Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by numerous of tributaries such as Purna, Varda, Pranhita, the Manjra, the Vainganga, the Painganga. The last three tributaries are very large because of its length and area it covers. It is also called as the Dakshin Ganga. The Mahanadi Basin. The Mahanadi is a highland of Chhattisgarh. It flows through the Odisha to reach the Bay of Bengal. The length of river is about 860 km. Drainage basin is shared by the Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Odisha. The Krishna Basin, rising from the spring near Mahabaleshwar. The Krishna flows off about 1400 km and reaches the Bay of Bengal. The Tungabhadra, the Koyna, the Ghatprabha, the Mersey, the Bhima are its tributaries. Its drainage basin is shared by the Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. The Kaveri Basin. The Kaveri rises in the Brahmagiri ranges of the Western Ghats, and it reaches the Bay of Bengal in the south of Kadlur in Tamil Nadu. The total length of the river is about 760 kilometers. The main tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati, Arkavati, and Kabani. The basin part drains of Karnataka, the Kerala, the Tamil Nadu. The river Kaveri makes the second largest waterfall in India, known as the Sivasamudram Falls. The hydroelectric power generated from the falls is to, supplied to Mysuru, Bengaluru, and Kolar Goldfield. Besides these major rivers, are some of, there are some small rivers flowing towards the east. The Damodar, the Brahmani, the Baitrani, and the Subarnika are the notable examples. 71% of the world's surface is covered with water, but 97 of the that is in the salt water. Of the 3 percentage that is available as a fresh water, 3 quarters of it's trapped by ice. And here is a short note. And next comes the lake. You may be familiar with the Valley of Kashmir, the famous Dal Lake, the houseboat, and the shikras, which attract thousands of tourists every year. Similarly, you may also visited some other tourist spots near the lake and enjoyed boating, swimming, and other water games. Imagine you are in Srinagar, Nainital, and other tourist places do not have the lake. Would they have been attractive as they are today? Have you ever tried to know the importance of lakes in making the places attractive to the tourism? Apart from attracting the tourist, lakes are of useful to human beings in many ways. Here is a short note. Lakes of the large extent are called seas, like the Caspian, Dead, and Aral seas. India has many lakes. They differ from each other in size and other characteristics. Most of the lakes are permanent and other contain water only during the rainy season, like the lakes in basins of inland drainage of semi-arid regions. They are there are some lakes which are the results of actions of glacier and the ice sheets, while others have been formed by the rivers, wind, and human activities. Meandering river across a floodplain forms cutoffs that later develops into oxbow lakes. Slits and bars form the lagoons in coastal areas. Example: Chilka Lake, the Pulicat Lake, and the Koldru Lake. And the lakes in the region of inland drainage are sometimes seasonal. For example, the Sambar Lake in Rajasthan, which is a saltwater lake. Its water is used for producing salt. Most of the freshwater lakes are in Himalayan origin. They are of glacial origin. In other words, they are formed when the glaciers drain out of a basin and which was later filled with snowmelt. The Ular in Jammu and Kashmir, in contrast, is a result of tectonic activities. It is the largest freshwater lake in India. The Dal Lake, the Bhimtal, the Nainital, the Loktak, the Barapani are some of the important freshwater lakes. Apart from the natural lakes, the draining of the rivers from the generation of hydel powers has also led to the formation of lakes such as Guru Gobind Singh Lagar, that is the Bagra Nangal project. And lakes are of a great value to human beings. A lake helps to regulate the flow of water during the rainy heavy rains. It prevents flooding and during the um, dry season, it helps to maintain an even flow of water. Lakes can be used for developing the hydel power, and they moderate the climate of the surroundings and maintain an aquatic ecosystem, enhancing the natural beauty. And they develop the tourism and produce recreations. And the role of rivers in economy. Rivers have been of a fundamental importance throughout the human history. Water from the rivers is a basic natural resource essentially for various human activities. Therefore, river banks have been attracted settlers for an ancient times, and these settlements have now become a big cities which make a city in your state which are located on the bank of a river. Using rivers for irrigation, the navigation, the hydel power generation is of a special importance, particularly to a country like India, where agriculture is a major source of livelihood of the majority of the population. And the river pollution. Growing domestic and municipal, industrial, and agricultural demand of water from the rivers naturally affect the quality of water. As a result, more and more of water is being drained out of a river, reducing the volume. On the other hand, the heavy load of untreated sewage and the industrial effluents are emptied into the rivers, and this affect not only the quality of water but also self-cleaning capacity of water. For example, Given the adequate stream flow, the Ganga water is able to dilute and assimilate polluted loads within 20 kilometers of large cities, but the increasing urbanization and industrialization doesn't allow it to happen, and the pollution level of many rivers have been rising. Concern over the rising pollution in our rivers led to a launching of various action plans. And so, think about a life of a human being without a fresh water. Is it pathetic, right? And we have got a little more about National River Conservation Program. The river cleaning program in the country was initiated with launching of a river action plan, that is Ganga Action Plan, in 1985. The Ganga Action Plan was expanded to cover other rivers under the National River Conservation in year 1995. The objective of NRCP is to improve the water quality of a river, which is a major source in the country, through implementation of a pollution abatement works. And here comes the end.
Thanks for watching the video. Do like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more notifications.